This is Janice Keizer. Hello and welcome to everyone. The title of this webinar is Engaging Families in the Assessment Process and Use of Data, an Early Childhood Example. Sponsors for today's bridge event are REL Northeast and Islands, Early Childhood Education, REL Southwest Arkansas Pre-Kindergarten Research Alliance, and REL Southwest New Mexico Pre-Kindergarten Research Alliance. We have a full and exciting agenda. First, my colleague Claire Irwin and I will provide an overview of the alliances that REL Northeast and Islands and REL Southwest work with, and then we'll have about 50 minutes for our main presentation. There will be about 20 minutes for questions and comments after the presentation, so please be sure to jot down your questions in the chat pod as we go. Claire and I will be collecting those, and we'll do our best to share those with our presenters and get their responses. After the presentation, we will have a follow-up Q&A document that will be distributed to all participants to provide additional information on this topic. You can expect to receive the archive and that follow-up document in about 2 weeks. And at the very end of the survey, we're going to provide you with a link to at the end of the webinar, we'll provide you with a link to an online survey about today's event. Your feedback is very important to us, so please take a moment to share your thoughts and give us your ideas for this topic and others that we might present in the future. So to get started, we'd like you to take a quick moment to participate in our poll. Tell us, please, what state you work in and your current role or your position. You can use the scroll bar to move up and down within the pods. And as you can see, the results are live, so we're able to get a good picture of who's with us today. As we move through the rest of the presentation, please feel free to share information about your role or your particular interest in this topic in the chat pods. Again, Claire and I are going to be collecting your important questions so we can address them later with the presenters. All right. Thank you for doing that. The REL Southwest is comprised of the following 6 research alliances: the Arkansas Pre-Kindergarten Alliance, Louisiana Charter Schools Alliance, New Mexico Pre-Kindergarten Alliance, Oklahoma Rural Schools Alliance, and Texas Hispanic STEM. We have 2 brand new alliances that are under development. They are the English Language Learners Alliance and Educator Effectiveness. The goals of the Arkansas and New Mexico Pre-Kindergarten Research Alliances are to inform the state-level creation and maintenance of a comprehensive pre-kindergarten through 12th grade data system, to extend the evidence base on the impact of the state's pre-K initiatives on student outcomes, and to refine and develop innovations to support the alignment and measurement of standards and benchmarks for early childhood programs. Next, my colleague Claire Irwin is going to share some information about the research alliances that REL Northeast and Islands have created. Claire?
Thank you, Janice. Thank you. So the REL Northeast and Islands has 8 research alliances that cover the region's 4 identified priority area topics. These topic areas include effective teachers and principals, low-performing schools, educational equity in special populations, and college and career readiness. Today's webinar was developed in collaboration with the Early Childhood Education Research Alliance and focuses on a topic of particular interest for this alliance. So the Early Childhood Education Research Alliance, or ECEA, at REL Northeast and Islands is comprised of state-level early educators and policymakers across New England, New York, and the U.S. Virgin Islands who have come together to improve early childhood programming and child outcomes through the use of research and data. The three broad areas of interest to our members include early learning standards, assessment, and practice. Through our research agenda setting process, a question of specific to today's webinar was created. What are the strategies used to engage families in the child assessment process? So this webinar that we're putting on today is one way to address issues that are facing our states and jurisdictions, and in particular this research question. Peter, during the pre-webinar portion of this webinar, mentioned our new survey tool that has been created. So this is just one example of a tool that REL Northeast and Islands creates with their alliance members. And this survey helps educators and administrators gather data to inform their policy making on early childhood educator background characteristics, as well as child assessment use and supports for that use, and implementation of early learning standards and the supports that are available to help them implement early learning standards. These surveys are downloadable, they are free, and they are also adaptable. And they can be downloaded at, I believe Janice just posted the HTML for that. So as Peter had mentioned again during the pre-webinar, we have several goals for today's webinar. The first is to describe the research program partnership at the University of Kansas, and also to describe how they are using data at multiple levels, including with the family. And we'd really like to build participants' awareness of these types of strategies and practices, because this is really a growing area of interest for folks, and it's a very particular piece of family engagement strategies, is how do we engage them in actually the assessment, use of assessments, the assessment process, and in data use.